So all of you are welcome for this session. And instead of me talking, you already heard a good presentation and you've seen the film. Do you have any questions or curiosity to know what Auroville is about? My name is Tapas and I'm here from almost the early days of Auroville. And I can share my experience and answer your questions based what you want to ask.
So, hi, my name is Ram, and I visited Auroville first time in 2010.
Oh.
And I'm volunteering right now, but I'm not an official volunteer this time. I don't know, there are many narratives floating in. I keep coming in and going out, but I have not understood how things work. It's been 16 years, I have friends and all of it. But till date, I don't understand how to get into Auroville or what exactly is like, how to feel secure about it. Like, it's been a bit strange for me. I'm still not clear, so that is my, intention to come to this meeting particularly. So if you can put some.
So the question I have heard you saying is how to feel secure.
Yeah, I mean, to be part of the city over here, like to the security, like in terms of like what I understand, like there are too many questions, but like if you can elaborate, then I might.
So what I will do is I will translate my experience from the beginning of Auroville that I have and what different stages of life Auroville has gone through and evolved. Auroville is 57 years old and it's one of the only communities in the world which has been started in the 60s. And there are a lot of experiments of communities like this, like Auroville, all over the world. And one of the few that has really survived today is Auroville. And one should ask why and how it has survived, despite all our challenges that we have on a day-to-day basis. It is a challenging life here because the ideals are very high. And our founders are Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And she is the one who wrote the dream. And the whole Auroville is based on that dream. And it's the dream that's yours, mine, everybody. We have a dream of an ideal place, ideal city, of harmony, beauty, how we can work together, how we can agree to disagree, and yet learn to find that unity in diverse cultures. So it's an international township project, and she wanted a city with a difference. So at the physical level, the city mother has even conceived the project of the city by an architect called Roger Angers, who designed the plan of the city. It's a galaxy form with a center, Matri Mandir as our soul, and 4 zones. Industrial zone for commercial units, business units, growing food, garments, all the products that we need to survive and live in Auroville. Then we have cultural zone for education, for arts, performing arts, sports, theatre, visual arts. So it's part of the whole cultural zone. Then the residential zone for all the residents where we all live, that's the plan. And we have international zone where the mother wanted an international, a pavilion of every culture, of every nation. So the first pavilion which was started was by the mother. It's called Bharat Nivas, the Pavilion of India. Now the purpose of pavilions is to serve the essential culture and what every country represents as its soul, its culture, its history, its literature, arts. and poetry, languages. So it's a huge, it's a huge microcosm of the micro. So everything that happens in the world reflects here. And basically we are not salaried people but volunteers. And in the Indian language I prefer the word sevak. And Mother has written that we are all here as volunteers. We are not here to do our earning. And neither are we here to settle down, but to move on and evolve. And how we evolve is in consciousness, individually. It means we are all expected to work on ourselves, spiritually, physically, mentally, intellectually. And we have access to all the aspects of life in Auroville. We can learn dance, we can learn music, we can learn languages. And through our daily life, the fundamental aim is yet how to find that unity in diversity. And it's a very abstract subject, no? Find unity in diversity. So for me, Auroville is the physical action, is to build a city together, build a life, an alternative solution to all our life problems through dialogue, not through conflicts or showing a gun against the other, not making court cases against the other if we have a conflict, but attempt to speak to the other, understand his problem or her problem. And we do have community meetings, which is called residence assemblies. So in the early, let's say first 30 years, we had community meetings once a week. We all met. And not everybody could meet because they have work and responsibilities of farms and forest and education and businesses. But the quorum for a residence assembly is about, that time, it was 150, no, correct me if I'm wrong? 10%. To be able to make a collective decision, how we want to move about, and take decisions, especially for self-governance. See, we have the freedom to experience what is self-governance for a society like the one in Auroville. How do we govern ourselves? As much for building the city, as much for realizing the dream of Auroville, realizing the human unity. So building the city together and create life, education for the children, food for the community, and we have great freedom to experiment, which Mother believed very strongly that we should be able to experiment new ways of self-governance, new ways of architecture, new ways of sustainable technology, organic farming. So whatever we do, it's with a consciousness and a different attitude, how to find solutions to the way we live here. I mean, we do have questions every day. We do ask ourselves questions, why am I not managing to get along with my community people? So these are part of our life. It's part of the process. And we are all seekers, as much as your visit here because you are seeking something. You heard about Auroville. You are a seeker, you have been coming many times and you still don't understand. I invite you to stay here some longer time, maybe for 6 months or 1 year. Don't question. Take up a cycle, go around, meet people, discuss, and just don't mentally think, have an experience. That's how I think it would work, because the best thing is to come and live here and then experience how things work. And we have also the freedom to leave if we don't find what we are seeking for inside ourselves. Because we are all seekers. If you're not happy in this place because it doesn't really, you don't have a calling for this place, then you're also welcome to leave. And we prefer not to ask someone to leave. We feel it's better that the person feels himself, okay, this is not my place. I'm going to leave and try something else maybe in India or somewhere else. But we have had occasions when it was very difficult for certain people, where it was important to ask the person to leave because he was really not connected to this place, he or she. But that's very rare.
For 3 months, you can there's a group called ATR, Admission and Termination Registry Group, something like that. Yes.
Entry process.
Become a newcomer, so that's the next step. And after 1 year of newcomership, then you can become an Aurovillian. So that's a route to become an Aurovillian, if that's what you are interested in.
Okay, I mean, I know that, but okay, I think I will.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know these few things, but I think it's more about like what is the structure more like. I understand volunteering, newcomer, and being a Aurovilian, but then again a structure, like for example, I come from outside with a very simple conditioning that if you work, for example, the first question on the sheet says, what does work mean to you?
Correct.
It is to gain some security in terms of social security, financial security and all of that. So when if I come be a part of Auroville, right now me volunteering, but I am paying money from my pocket. So honestly, I mean I cannot sustain after a point of time. Then I have to have a source of income on the outside. But as Sajeev mentioned earlier, you cannot double time things. You cannot be working on the outside and also be a part as an Aurovillian. So how to survive, like work that up? That was my question in that case.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you see, one comes to serve. And it's a question of how much faith you have in this project. So it's an attitude of faith that if you're really sincerely looking for something true, in my experience, I don't ask what will be my security, whether I'll have a house or some money. It comes. When you give, you get. So it's a question of faith. You have to try it out. You have to have that calling inside. But if you ask questions in the beginning already of security, it's difficult that it will work, according to me. But it's my personal opinion. Because my survival here in my own evolution, I really have faith in the founders. And they have said Auroville will be despite us. Because we may come, we may go, but it will continue to exist. And it's a miracle that it's existing and people still come. There is more demand than offer. And Auroville is trying to build the city and to be able to experiment the human unity and diversity. The founder, the mother, she wanted 50,000 people to come. We are today only 3,500. 2,000? Wow. So it means, after 50 years of survival, we are only 2,000. It means it's quite challenging to survive here. And yet, it's extremely, you are all the time learning. It's an unending education in this place. You learn every day something new, every day. Whether by talking to Lakshay, spending a few hours chatting on Auroville, and we exchange ideas. or working. Working is very important. So you have to take up work. You have a free choice to work where you wish to work or where you want to grow. Supposing you have been doing a business and you want to go into teaching or go into art or writing, you're welcome to do that. But minimum 5 to 7 hours, it's important to work for the community, which can be school or a farm or in any other activity there where we need people. We need more people to join Auroville. But not just the sake of joining, but provided you have that calling to be here and attempt this very high ideal.
Sorry, no.
If I have to sum it up in a word, we have to be more altruistic instead.
Altruistic, you're saying?
Yeah. Because it's not about working for the community 5 to 7 hours, but knowing that everything that you're doing is not just for you, but for everyone together.
Yes.
So it's just a play of words. It comes out like, because I assume, some might assume that when they think working for the community, it is about doing something for the collective, wherein they are not getting something out of it. So it's for them to prepare themselves that that is the karma yoga they're doing.
Yes and no. Let me little bit throw some. What I will do is I will put more questions to you rather than answers, because it's a city of questions also, I think. To briefly answer you, there is no security. Turn back, run away as soon as possible from our because this is a deep dive and nobody knows how deep it is. You know what I mean? So you are saying, will I land safely? No, there is actually surety that you will not land. Okay. What I may look at it, I may pose the question in a different way. If the world is so secure, what made you come here? Why are you coming here for 16 years? Right? It is secure, no? Go get a job. Get a monthly, yearly, annual increment and bonuses and overtime and things like that, right? So that you are somewhere, there is a earning, there is a thirst for progress inside you that is compelling you to go and do this kind of free jobs, right? Right. So there is something in you, listen to it. And if you are contradicting yourself there and looking for security, then it's a contradiction within you. This is where inner discovery comes in. So while working, you see what gives you the joy of being alive in this planet. Right? Is it working for somebody or working for yourself or something larger, wider, deeper, higher? Then Auroville comes into the play. So Auroville, Mother also says somewhere that Auroville is not for those who are happy with the world, the way it is. Right? If you are okay, then Auroville is not a place. Auroville is also not for those who are seeking the general stuffs. There is no way we can provide it. We as in because we are a collective here. So to come back to yours, altruism, read Sri Aurobindo and Mother on what they said about it, and philanthropy, that has an element of ego to it.
Yeah,
Minus the ego. You know, so
I
when
don't
we
mean it as a label, but an expression how the outer world understands.
Exactly. So there are a lot of people who come to Auroville also to help. We don't need help. Sorry to say this way. Right? Don't come to help us. Come to help yourself.
Exactly.
If we are, people come here and then say, oh, bioregion needs help. Then they go and help in the bioregion because they have such a need to help, to elevate themselves. By putting others down, they feel they are higher. Right? That's one way of looking how to go higher. You put everyone down. So what you need perhaps to look at is even the collective work is in a way, there is no division, there is no silo between what you will find in Sri Aurobindo's work and Mother's words is constant synthesis. There is no this or that. There is that also and there is this also. There is an individual element, there is a collective element also. There is a spiritual aspect, there is a material aspect also. So it's always, rather than having divisions, like Sajeev also said, how do we bring harmony? This is a city for harmony, human unity. So that's how I look at it, at least. So you are warned. Because everything right now you might have, like you also alluded to, there are a lot of stories.
Where?
The stories are because people came with certain ideas. You have to come with the width. If you come limited, Auroville is very limiting for you. That's what she said. Then people suffer here.
I actually,
I'm sorry, but also it's interesting that we belong to a very small planet, but these are the questions not asked outside the world, but are asked in our world.
well, that's our homework, how to find answers to the world's problems. But there is a very, the quotation that attracted, by the mother that attracted me in Auroville. Auroville is a place of adventure. We are going towards something unknown, but you must have faith and you are ready for that unknown. It really means how much faith you have within yourself and the collective. And with that attitude of faith, you work together. And she has said, even she doesn't know. She says, I'm taking you towards something unknown, but the victory is assured. And she has created this dream for everyone on the planet. And everybody is welcome to Auroville, from all over the world. It's not just for Indians. And somebody even asked her in the 60s, why she was in a hurry to create this project called Auroville. And the world had already gone through 2 world wars, in 1914 and 1942. The world was on the verge of a 3rd world war in the 60s. When there was
Cuban crisis and
Cold War. So she said it's very important to create a place like this on the planet. And she chose India. And somebody even asked her, why did you choose India? She said, because India has this spiritual dimension. And India is receptive to such new ideas. India always has been receptive to new challenges, new projects. So she said it's only in India that we can try to create this project. And today the Indian government, of course, takes pride and supports a lot for our growth, for the city, for whatever we need. They have been helpful. Whether it's Indira Gandhi's government or Modi or whichever government, all governments have helped this project. And we do need funding. But fundamentally, you are here for something new, and you are not here to settle down in your comfort zone, but be ready and prepared for whatever comes. So it's a question of your consciousness, how much individually you are working on yourself and collectively you are working together. And it's been challenging in both sides. That's my experience.
Auroville is also described as a conscious laboratory. It's also described as an experiment. So it's an adventure also. Okay. When you are backpacking, it's a constant backpacking movement. Okay? You every day you are just traversing, and the journey itself is a destiny. So there is no home on the way. We are constantly discovering. So having said all that, I would come back to it. May sound a little bit esoteric in a way, that have faith. It's not in that sense. But if you look at it as a social experiment also, it's one for all for one. So if one can come and offer oneself, the others see in a very practical way that somebody is offering selflessly. And that also creates an atmosphere, that also creates an energy of yours. Invariably the collective then starts to support you. So people see value in because everyone knows what is Auroville, and if somebody is genuinely here to work for mother's ideal, then and taking away the esoteric aspect, and then everyone then looks at the goodwill of yours. That's what she also says, all men and women of goodwill are welcome. Goodwill is the important thing. If you
That's the
come with
most
goodwill,
important.
if you come with goodwill and if you offer yourself, this is how the collective is surviving. But it is, if anyone comes for surety, there is nothing. That's why out of 8 billion people, only 2,000 are here. Otherwise, it's such a great place to be in, right? Why not everyone comes here? So it is not easy. But we are having all the challenges also, like she said, we are the microcosm. Auroville is a microcosm. She chose India because she said India is, it consists of all the problems of the world. So India is a microcosm of the world. And Auroville is a microcosm of India. So if we can find solutions, find harmony in here, that becomes a lesson for India. If India can learn from Auroville, then India can be a lesson for the world. That's how she sees it, and I also see the same. And Sri Aurobindo's 5 dreams also is a very inspiring, if you
Yeah.
refer to it. Anybody else? I'm sorry, we are giving a very long answer. I would like to, yes, anybody from this side? Please feel free to ask anything. Namaste.
So my related question is that even when some challenges come, so then at that time, what is the one thing that keeps that fire of aspiration alive? That gives motivation to go ahead.
The challenge itself is a motivation.
So if challenges come,
Yeah.
what comes inside? What is one thing that will keep alive that aspiration to all Aurovillians and all who faith in this?
My answer would be she has created matrimony for self-discovery. So we have to sit there inside and sit quiet, concentrate, and try and discover yourself. And that represents the soul of Auroville. So individually, we have no hard and fast rule that you have to go there. But it is that place of inspiration. And maybe your answers would. And it's a unique experience. I mean, unfortunately, Matsumandir has been put on the tourism map of Tamil Nadu. So all the people come here just to see that monument as a touristic monument, but it's not. For Aurovillians, it's not. It's really a place for self-discovery. And the more Aurovillians go there, the better it is for us. I don't go there very often, but sometimes when there is a need, I do. Or when I take my guests, I go there.
See, the challenge is external, but suffering is internal, right? The circumstances you don't have control on, but how you deal with it is up to you. So this is how I look at it. Every challenge presents itself as an opportunity to little bit reflect, like she also says, and see, look at this issue little bit in a detached manner, and see what energy in you is trying to, is it making you angry, or sometimes challenges can, like I said, it can be a good opportunity, or it can level you up, right? Each fire can make you further better diamond out of you. So it's up to you how you approach a challenge. So in Auroville, I think everyone approaches in a very different way. And all that you hear in Auroville, the stories that comes out is very much a reflection of that individual's approach to conflict.
And we all come with our own baggages, our own personal
All
problems.
conditionings, yes.
Even that we have to learn to grow beyond.
Anybody else?
What about you? About you? No?
Where are you working? I mean, I would like to know from Auroville's point of view, what the idea of this having this exercise, this discovery is also two-way. One, that you discover the inner self, and for us to see what are the challenges that the volunteers are facing. Like you said, one of the challenges that. So we know that there is a dearth of housing. So if you want to come and volunteer, we are trying to figure out the numbers, how are you surviving, and things like that. And another aspect is, if we have to then go, if it's an international township, then we need to reach out to all the countries of the world. For example, we have very less representation of African countries, ASEAN countries, South America. So we want to, also this is an opportunity for us to see where are people coming from, and that also shows us where are people not coming from, and what are the challenges for certain audience groups or generally, say from a Europe. It can be just visa or it can be climate kind of issue, it's too sweaty here. But yeah, we would like to know from you what are the challenges that you are facing in your workplace. Are you getting enough time while you are working to study Sri Aurobindo and Mother, the purpose of Auroville? And if yes, how do you do it? Is there a collective study in your unit? Are you studying? Because if you are here, you need to know the purpose of this place. So any kind of that kind of reflection is also welcome. Are you working somewhere? Huh? You're working in Mathu Mandir since when? And any language is also okay. We have fairly good language representation here. Santosh. எப்ப இருந்து வேலை பண்றீங்க?
Minus 1 year. First 2 hours working, 6 to 8 working here. After the energy is coming here, my energy வந்து எனர்ஜியாக இருக்குது. அப்புறமேட்டா நான் வந்து 6 to 10 ஒர்க்கிங் 2 வீக்லேருந்து 2 மந்த்லேருந்து. அப்புறம் 1 month இப்போ கன்க்ளூட் பண்ணி 6 to 11 talking to
You plan to, so he has been working for what, 1 year, if you want to know, and
எனக்கு அப்புறம் எனர்ஜி
what's your future? You want to continue in Auroville? You want to? Oh, in the custom, and what are the challenges that you are facing?
challenges little bit money.
It's a major factor.
House,
It's expensive.
okay. வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ஸ்மால் பட்ஜெட் இருந்தாலும் முதல்ல மெயின்டெனன்ஸ் பண்ணுறோம்.
When we say that even if you have small budget, you can maintain yourself, and that's so true actually. But in the dream also, Mother speaks of the basic subsistence, that everyone should, the collective should offer, it can offer. This is something which we are trying to do also through our units. If we can,
Prosperity.
if we can get more money to the collective pot, then perhaps we can take care of individual needs in a better manner. Not in a big way, but basic needs, like you rightly said, little money, we can survive, but you need little money. I get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
வணக்கம்.
We get it.
அவ்வளோதான்.
So, நான் வந்து 2004
2004
நான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா டோட்டலாக வந்து கிளாஸ் சொல்ல நாங்கள் ஓப்பன். ஸோ நடுவில் வந்து நாள் அவ்வளோ இப்போ கூட ஈகேட்டை எனக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப புரியுது. இது வந்து அந்தளவுக்கு தெரியும். ஸோ படிக்கும் இது அந்தளவுக்கு லைஃப் பண்ணுறது எதுவுமே ஸ்கூலில் இருக்கிற அந்த சந்தோஷங்கள் ஒரு ராணியான வாழ்க்கை அதுக்காகவே.
So he said he's been working for 22 years now.
Oh,
Okay. So a unit called Legal, and he works in carpentry. He also works in many places. So that's another leadership from So that's why we said this session discovery. We said it's not just for volunteers; it's also for people who work in many units as staff or employed, basically. But still, you should know what is this place. எதுக்காக இந்த Auroville create பண்ணிருக்காங்க? அமைதின்னு சொன்னா அமைதி ஹவுஸ் அமைதி வெளியில வெறும் மரங்கள் இருக்கிறதுனால அமைதியா? Is it the peace inside?
ஒன்றியம் பட்டதற்கு நம்மளுக்கு வந்து வில்லேஜ் எக்ஸ்போர்ட் நம்ம ஆர்வம் பண்ணி எவ்வளோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இருக்கும். ஸோ நம்ம உள்ள போனாக்கா அதனுடைய லைஃப்லேயே ப்ராப்பராக வச்சுருக்கோம். வில்லேஜ் லைஃப் போனோம்னா நல்ல. ஸோ இதுதான்
வேறு தான். பட் which one do you find better?
Answer.
Or why? So village is not peaceful. Too many villages.
அது வந்து பொறாமல் இருக்கணும். வேற பீப்புள் எல்லாருமே ஒற்றுமையாக இருக்கலாம். ஏன்னா ஒரு ஒர்க்னாக்கா கேதர் பண்ணி பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணணும். ஸோ அந்த
எந்த வில்லேஜ்
ராயப்பேட்டை.
So he's from very nearby village. He finds peace here. Thinks that in village there are a lot of jealousy and strife and competition, and all of it is kind of peaceful. This image will be broken very soon if you join Auroville. We have all sorts of jealousy here also. All the neighbor problems we also have. So I don't think, see, from outside it may look a little different, but when we come inside and we work here, you have most likely discovered also that we all are human in that sense, no? Even if you are here, environment looks greater because we are in a place of 50,000 people, we are 2,000 people, correct? We have 2,000 residents and 3,000 acres. Roughly it is less than 1 person per acre. Obviously it is very peaceful right now. But as soon as we have 50,000 in the same 4,800 square kilometers, 4,800 acres, 20 square kilometers, you will find that in the residential area the plan is to have 40,000 residents. It's a very densely populated kind of plan. In a very small 5 sector of residential zone, we will have 40,000 residents eventually. Okay, which means that it will be. Then you will say village is peaceful. I'm just joking, but I get what you mean, and thank you for your service.
Sanjeev, you wanted to say something? No? Isabel, you want to add?
Working?
I just came.
You're just.
I have to start looking for one. Who is going to take?
There are 700 units. People are always happy to have volunteers and all of that. That's not an issue. The little money is an issue. Because everyone depends on the unit also. It's a myth that Auroville does not have money. That also is not true.
Yeah.
Depends where you go, which unit you serve. And if you can get a right match, that also is not a big issue. If it's a need, you get what I mean? For example, there is Auroville Consulting, there are the Visitor Center, there is Maroma, all of them are doing well in that sense. And then provided how can you be useful there. And then there are so many units where we don't have any commercial activity. So in that sense, there is no money there. We offer it as a service. Depends on the unit also.
I think it's important that you first come and stay as a guest and take your time to discover what this place is all about. It helps a lot. That's one of the procedural guidelines before you become a newcomer and go through the entry process. There's an interview in the beginning and at the end of the year. But before that, we expect that people come here and spend at least 3 to 6 months, if possible, Because you got to know whether this place is really what you're looking for. It's not just settling down. I mean, it's very important to know that we are not here to settle down, but we are here to serve, like Sanjeev said in the introduction. And you got to move on, not settle down in your comfort zone. So Auroville has enough problems which wake us up every day. So we don't generally, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, as the charter says, it's a place of unending education,
Yeah.
which means she knew that we will be constantly tested. So it's a place, like she repeatedly says, it's a place of unsettling. It will keep on unsettling you. It is, in a way, one of the, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I think I'm settled, then something comes along. So if you enjoy it, it's a joyful place. But any kind of, because it's not, though we call it a city, usually city means you go there once and then for many generations you stay there. Then you become part of that place. Sometimes for centuries also, correct? We all are in that sense migratory. Depends how long back you came to any place. Auroville, for the matter, if we say 2,000 residents, it's not a cumulative number in the last 67 years. It's not only 2,000 people came and we are 2,000. Probably we have had 50,000 people who have come, lived and left.
That's true.
So in that sense, I think there are definitely 50,000 souls which we have touched. They are living as Auroville in some part of the world. I look at it that way. So you may also come here, be here for a while, and as soon as you feel that you are settling, that's when the issue comes. Then you need a house, and then that becomes an issue. Then increment becomes an issue. Then outside world is having inflation. You are not having inflation because we don't have salary growth, right? We get, like she says, a stipend. That becomes an issue. So everything becomes an issue in that sense. So if you then come here for the purpose of Auroville, and if you are already embracing that I am on an adventure, and every day I might find some wild animal, then wild animal, you would want to take a camera out when you see a wild animal, because that's what you are expecting in the adventure. Whereas if you are settled in a house, wild animal comes, you'll be scared. Anybody else?
You want to add something, Saravanan? You have grown up here, no? He's grown up here from childhood.
That's true.
What challenges have you faced? That's it then. That's it?
If there are no more questions, welcome to Auroville.
Maybe Saji can answer, like you just came 4 years ago and now you have become a newcomer, so maybe you want to share something.
Yeah. I came here as a volunteer and I found a job. I go to a farm in Auroville and they said, like, it's called Solitude Farm, and they said, okay, they take me as a full-time volunteer. So I have never done farming. My dad is a farmer, all his life he's a farmer. And here I had to go to do farming. Of course I am interested, I want to learn. I have fixed my mind, okay, I will explore this, I will see how I can do it. And I stayed in a farm all by myself, which is a 7-acre farm, with just me, one volunteer, in a hut, and there's only one bed in the center of the room. There's mosquito net and one light above my head and a table fan. All that I have. I came as a volunteer, I lived like that for 1 month. I used to hear crickets in the night. I see some snakes also in the farm. I learned all of that, which is very uncomfortable for me because I am more comfortable in Hyderabad, where I was coming from, as you were there before. And then we took a lot of time. Eventually I met people. I joined all the theatre group, and then I've moved to different units as a volunteer, and I've become a long-term volunteer for almost 1.5 years. Now it's just 3 months you volunteer and you can upstart your process to become a newcomer. But I was a long-term volunteer waiting for the entry service to open. I didn't feel like going, and I have never decided to stay back here also. When I asked myself, like when I decided to stay back, I asked myself like why is it? Like, why do I want to stay? Then I found my answers like I started like again my journey here. It was not easy at all, and I came with 5,000 rupees in the first month. That's it. I spent all of that. Eventually, community took care of me. I used to volunteer in Solar Kitchen. I used to clean, like even now it's open for everybody. You can go offer your 2 hours of your work during lunchtime. You help them in the kitchen, and then they'll give you lunch. I used to do that for 15 days, so my lunch is sorted. You know, I found ways to survive also, and it taught me a lot. Like, I learned a lot during there as a volunteer. Now it's been 3 years. I'm still a newcomer. I mean, I'm a newcomer in the process of becoming a resident of Auroville. So it was not easy, but I like it. I liked it. I've met so many people. I've learned a lot. So that's really nice. I really like that journey also.
Yeah, I just wanted to share similar thing. When I moved in 77, I was 23, and I was living in a hut exactly like you on 4 granite pillars. There was bamboo flooring and peat hut with 1 lamp, and it was in Dusar. Where the bakery is, it was in Dusar. And I used to walk with a lamp to Aspiration kitchen for breakfast, lunch and dinner. But that was adventure for me. It's really adventurous to be in Auroville. And you learn a lot. You learn to do gardening, cooking, and experience so many things and meet so many people from different backgrounds. Learn about their journeys. Why did they choose Auroville? Why did you choose Auroville? Why did you choose? For me, that's very interesting. All our journeys make this life more interesting in Auroville. So I expect to see you soon in Auroville.
Last year I was here for 4 months as a volunteer, as savvy registered. But they said that we don't know, the newcomers, the gates are closed, we don't know when it is going to open. So I went disheartened, but now I have again come back because I came to know it's open. I'm like, okay, let me see, but this time there are new narratives. I'm like, I don't know where to go, how to go about it. I'm still understanding it.
I just read an email which Isabella showed. They stopped the volunteer process now. So,
Why?
For some reason. Again, we are going through churning right now, mind you.
Yeah, because I put an email to ATR and I got a response, and then they said like, okay, we are closed for volunteering, and I'm like, okay, then what is the thing? So like, then again, like, there are too many things which are going on, so I'm also okay. I like to come to help myself, and I get help every time. So I'm like, okay, whatever is there for me in my baggage, I will serve that. I mean, that's how I look at it.
I mean, this admission process of Auroville has been very challenging since the beginning for Auroville, as I understand. As long as mother was there, it was simple because I could apply, she would see in person or through photo or something, and she could decide, right, to allow this person or not to allow that person. Because that was the process. As soon as she left her body, it was then left to a lot of speculation. Who should be here? Is this a right person? Is this a right person for the collective? You know? And always it has been an issue. Depending on the people who are administrating the collective service right now, which is admission and termination service, it varies. Like, I was surprised to see, we all are surprised, like Isabella, and before the session I went to a computer and saw the email. So now I will go and see, and we will go and speak indirectly to them to see how it can be opened again. Because I think Auroville, how can you close volunteering in Auroville? I mean, I don't understand. Because there are so many people who come and offer their time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm also asking questions. You see, Mother in her guidelines, she wrote, we are all volunteers. To create another status for volunteers like him or people who are volunteering for me, it's also contradictory.
There are two things here. One is, if you want to work, you can work. Like she says, that's not an issue, correct? All of us can work. Who stops us from contributing? We all can contribute. But the question, there is a legal aspect to it. If you want, particularly if you are from other nationality, which I see, to even volunteer, you cannot volunteer on a tourist visa, by the way. So you need to open the volunteer segment, which you are. It's a segment for visa. It's got to also work with the Indian government. So we need to start it so that expat community can come and also be part of it. And then for many it could also be little bit on a, if you become an Aurovillian, otherwise they get stipends little then little bit more money in a way to sustain oneself.
Like for me, as an Indian, I don't have an issue with visa particularly. I can easily work and that's what I'm doing. But with me, what happens is like if I get registered as a volunteer, my little money with the volunteer gets a little bigger.
Correct.
Because I get discounts.
Absolutely.
And so that is my perk that I like to enjoy, because last time when I came, that little money also becomes a bit bigger. So I feel appreciated, I can stay for longer, 3, 4, 6 months and things like that.
By the community as a whole,
Also.
not just the unit that we are associated with.
I take this as a call to action for me, at least me and Isabella and Sajeev, if you can organize a meeting with ATR, we can go and little bit restart this. I agree with this. We need to, it's a recognition, no? It's a form of acknowledgement. And like you rightly said, also it gives you more mileage to the existing savings also. Thank you.
Yeah, practical, like what I'm going through.
Totally. I mean, we all went through it. So that's what I'm saying, that how can they stop? Because the ones who are working there, they were volunteers once. Shall we? We have a small feedback form. If you can spend 5 minutes to write it, it will help us improve this session. So that, and also when you go back, if you see more volunteers, we would like to hear them. We would like to see also what are the needs. This is where we harvest. I don't know where you are placed. Even if you are placed in a unit, you are only working in that unit. Correct? So the idea is that also all the volunteers, when they come together, this becomes an occasion for all the volunteers who are having same issues. No? If that becomes a kind of a sub-collective, so that you all can support each other. It's the time you need each other also, in a way. Like I remember when I came with some, like she says, she had back then some volunteers whom you asked, why did you join and things like that. So that becomes a little, these friendships also stay forever. This is an opportunity for you all to also mingle. And and if we can harvest more such issues also, then we can, otherwise individually you can't do much. In a way, each volunteer is very disempowered. Thank you for coming today.